Hi everybody, today I'll be discussing how to recite all the ta'amim for ta'ameh hamikra, for Torah, and I'll also be saying which Maqamot, which is Arabic scales, apply to each ta'am, which is a little bit more of an insider's dream if you want to know how to enhance your Maqamot with your ta'amim pronunciations. So cantillation marks, which is also ta'amim, it's cantillation marks. It's a sound that goes on each word in the Torah. And if you look very closely, actually, in the Torah scroll itself, it does not show cantillation marks at all. It just shows the letters, it shows the words, and it shows the crowns on top of specific letters. There's no ta'amim in there. So Chacham Ovadia Yosef was saying, hey, ta'amim are so important. It's not written in there, but the Chazan is still supposed to prepare it and supposed to say each ta'am in the right way. So that's what I'm going to be discussing today, and then I'll do the Maqamot also. So the first ta'am I want to discuss is Zarka. How does Zarka go? So traditionally it goes like this. Zarka. Okay, so that's Zarka. Now, there's a few different ways you could do it. First way is like this, and this is Makam Rast. Zarka. Okay, now Makam Rast is what the Syrians do for Shabbat Mincha, right? Because Shabbat Mincha, we start the next week's Torah portion, so it's like a new thing. So that's Makam Rast. And also we do Makam Rast when it's a new Sefer. So for example, Parashat Bereshit, Parashat Shemot, Parashat Vayikra, we do all Makam Rast because they start a new Sefer. So Rast literally means like the head of something. So that's Makam Rast. So going back to Zarka, Zarka Rast. Next time, Shofar Holich Sigolta Siga. That's pretty basic. Now you could also do Zarka in a different way. And this is Makam Nahawand. Nahawand is what we do for Arbit Shel Shabbat. Not Bamim Alikim. Bamim Alikim is Nawa. This is Nahawand. So this is Arbit Shel Shabbat. So it goes like this. Zarka Nawand. Shofar Holech Segolta Siga. Okay, so there's two different ways. Rast and Nahawand. Great. So the next ta'am I want to talk about is Pazer Gadol. What does Pazer Gadol sound like? It sounds like this. Pazer Gadol. It's Siga too. Siga. Easy enough. Next. Talsha. That's also Makam Ras, if you hear that very carefully. Ras. Talsha. Okay? That's also another one. So that points away from the next word, right? The circle is pointing towards the previous word. The next one, tilsa, is different because the circle is pointing towards the next word. So if it points towards the next word, it goes like this. Tilsa, siga. That's another siga one. And by the way, the base makam of the Torah is siga. Okay? So that's why you're going to hear a lot of siga. Okay, so again, Talisa, Tilisa. Great. Azla Gerish, Azla Gerish. Another siga one. Now there's also some ways you could do it in Bayat. Azla Gerish. But it always goes back to siga. Okay, so that one's another one. Pasik, easy one. Siga, yep. Ravia, Ravia. It ends off in Ajam a little bit. Ravia, Ajam, Ravia, Ajam. Next one. Shenegerishin. Siga. Gerish, Shene Gerishin, and Zakef Kadol have the exact same sound. Zakif gadol gerish shene gerishin. Now back in the olden times, a lot of people say all three of those ta'amim, shene gerishin, gerish, and zakif gadol, they all used to sound different. So I guess it must have gotten lost recently. So we transitioned to doing all of those the exact same way. The same way. Same sound. All right, let's move on. Darga tevir. Darga. You can choose your pick. That sounds more ajam to me. Darga tevir. Ajam. Or you could also do it like this. Darga tivir siga. So there's two different ways. Darga tivir. Darga tivir. I usually do it the first way. Let's move on. Ma'arich talcha atnach. Ma'arich talcha atnach. So ma'arich is a connecting ta'am. By connecting ta'am, I mean it goes with the next ta'am. So we have a few of those. One of those that we saw earlier was shofar holech. So remember in the beginning I said shofar holech segolta. So you can have that, or you can have shofar holech atnach, shofar holech rabia. So shofar holech and ma'arich connect to the next word. Tarcha does the exact opposite. That always is a pause, is a ta'am mafsik. So we have ta'am mafsik and ta'am mechaber. Ta'am mechaber goes with the next word. Ta'am mafsik is a pause. So tarha is, in my opinion, the most important ta'am in the entire ta'ameh hamikra, because it sets the right pace for you to read the whole Torah the right way. Right? Ma'arich tarha vaydaber Adonai. Right? So when we have that, then it pauses for us very nicely. So this way it keeps our pace. This way we could breathe. We could think for a second about what we have to do next. Tarcha is just very, very important. So I would definitely recommend doing it that way. Ma'arich tarcha atnach siga. Ma'arich tarcha atnach siga. Okay, so that one's a short pause. Atnach is a short pause. Next one. Shofar mehupach kadma. Shofar mehupach is ta'am mechaber, but it always makes the same sound. Shofar mehupach kadma. Right? Shofar mehupach is also another favorite of mine. What that does is that it goes straight up. Sometimes you have to build it up. Shofar da 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 da. And sometimes if it's a short word, like that. Okay, so it depends where the ta'am is, right? So you're looking for the small little arrow under the word, and once you see that, that should be the note that comes to your mind. Shofar mehupach kadma. Kadma. That's a pause also. It's ta'am mafsik. Ta'am mafsik, you have to pause on it. Right? Da, 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 da. Shofar mehupach kadma. Okay, next one. Tere kadmin. What does tere kadmin? Tere kadmin is literally two kadmas. Tere means two. So tere kadmin is two kadmas. Tere kadmin. Ajam. Short ajam. Zakef katon. Dun 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 dun. You can think of that like a siga or an ajam too. Okay, so all those can go together. Shofar mehupach kadma. Shofar holech zakef katon. Okay, great. Next ta'am. Shalshelet. It's literally a pasik, but it has a squiggly line on top. It has a squiggly line on top of the word. So, right? So like a good trick that I learned from one of my friends is you put your finger under your chin, you move it back and forth, and you can say shalshelet. You can move your throat with you. That's a good way you can do it. Tere ta'ami. Or some people do Tere Ta'ameh. Some people do it like a Pazer Gadol. Okay? But I do it a different way. Tere Ta'ameh. Tziga. Yetiv. Okay? That's more of a Siga Ajamon also. Yetiv is the arrow before the word starts. This is before the word. Now, what other ta'am does that look like? It looks like a shofar mihupach. But a shofar mihupach is in the middle of the word, right? Yetiv is before the word starts, that little arrow. So that's a little different. Yetiv. And what's the last one that we all know? Sof pasuk. It's a ta'am mafsik, right? Literally, sof pasuk means the end of the pasuk, the end of the sentence. Sof pasuk. Okay? And that's a siga. Siga. Now, for sof aliyah, right? So, in the tikkun it says, sheni, shelishi, revi'i, hamishi, shishi, shivi'i. So, when it has one of those, that's sof aliyah territory. Sof aliyah territory, so instead of a regular sof pasuk, you're going to end it off differently with a sof aliyah. Sof aliyah. And the tarcha changes to ma'arich tarcha sof aliyah. Or it could be the opposite. Tarcha ma'arich sof aliyah siga. Or you can change it to bayat too. Ma'arich tarcha sof aliyah bayat sof aliyah. So that's the difference. So you have a siga and you have a bayat at the end of aliyah. Okay, so quickly I'm going to go over everything again with the ta'amim and the maqamot for each of those, and then I'll end it off. Zarka ras shofar holech segota siga pazer gadol siga talsha ras tilsa siga azla genish siga pasek siga ravia ajam shene genishin siga dagatevirs ajam ma'arich talha atnach siga. For all of those three. Shofar mehupach kadma ajam terekad min siga zakef katon da 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 siga zakef kadol. I remember I said zakef kadol shene gerishin and gerish had the same sound. Da shalshelet. Another siga. Tere ta'ameh siga yetiv siga sof pasuk siga ma'arich tarcha sof aliyah. And now what is that? Siga. Just like the whole cantillation of the Torah, it's in Makam Siga generally. Thank you guys very much and have a great day.